Hey guys, Veebat here with another V-Plays, and no, your eyes don't deceive you. This is the Tier 9 Seahawk, and no, I did not make it this far down Candy Cane Road. I will fully admit that I actually bought my way through a bit of this in order to get it. How much would that be? Well, I don't want to say how much I spent I guess the way I'd put it is, I didn't spend as much as you might think I did, but it's a little bit more than I'd be comfortable in telling you. But it is a beautiful looking aircraft, and really, I honestly wanted it for this candy cane stripe paint. I don't know why, but I really like it, and it was enough for me to really want the airframe. And I really like the mid-mounted wings, and the prospect of having 20 rockets on this aircraft is awesome. Now, I'll say that the guns on this are, they're alright. They're a little lackluster, but it's definitely an interesting concept to be able to just do this to a ground site and just really rip it apart like that. But I'll also say that the guns are not nearly as powerful as I would have liked them to have been. The guns are enough to be able to hurt the enemy, but not necessarily be able to take them out as easily as you would like. They overheat relatively quickly. It's enough for me to be able to eventually take out that 329, and now we're working on the IL-20, but this is by no means a very maneuverable aircraft. It's very much like any other multi-role that you'd envision. It's really meant to drop its ordnance, do a little bit of damage to a ground site, and then finish off a few aircraft, usually something with some easy pickings, in order to try and finish capturing a zone. It has a little bit of an advantage when it comes to its speed performance compared to a normal turn and burn, but it is not going to outperform any of the heavy fighters or even some of the high altitude kind of dogfighting aircraft. So it becomes a bit of a challenge to try and figure out what aircraft you can go up against and where your advantages really lie. So I would love to be able to get up here and get after this XF5U, but he is probably at an altitude where I'm not going to be able to get him, and I'm going to put myself in a bad energy state just in an attempt to get close enough. We'll put a few pot shots out there. Maybe this will help my teammate out. Ooh, I'm getting the shots to connect. Marksman 2 is really coming in handy here. I've lit him on fire. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad I was able to do that, but I am barely aloft right now, and I'm at 9,000 feet. This aircraft does not want to stay up here any longer. It is time for me to get the heck out of here and hopefully not take too much damage from that tail gunner. Whoop. We got a ground target down here with only one sight left on it. Oh, looks like we managed to take it. We do have a player who's specialist in a 329, so that's nice to see. And we'll come in here and try to overheat the guns on a kill here. Oh, we got him. That's nice when those connect like that. But these are the same Mark V Hispano cannons that you would find on the Tier 8, which is the Tempest. So it's good. It's not spectacular, but it is definitely capable. Do I want to go after the IL-20 right now? Making sure I don't have any other enemies around, but I do have a 329 over here, which is a great defensive platform for being able to take those aircraft out. Ooh. Can we go after him?
This will make things easier for you.
Okay, good. Our teammate was able to get him. I got a little bit of a nick on him, but nothing too substantial. The boost is pretty good at 14 seconds, and the aircraft does have a pretty decent speed. It can get up to about 551 in some cases, but it's not really meant to be doing that type of maneuver. It's not really meant to be going up to high altitudes and going after this XF5U, but I'm more than happy to give it a shot if I can get up here and get him. 7 seconds, is that enough? He's already damaged. Maybe I can finish him off again. But if he notices I'm here, I'm in a lot of trouble, because he can easily out-energy perform me in these instances. Oh, get the guns down. At least I'm descending and get some of that airspeed back and therefore control. I'm not a heavy. This is not where I'm supposed to be. I can get up here, but it doesn't mean I should be here, guys. Should not be here. Lost the engine. Oh, 209. He can do this. I cannot. Oh no, and I lost my engine again. And I don't have a repair. We're just going to have to hope that my team can take him out and I can get my engine back in time to be able to help out a little bit. Still might be able to get some guns on target here. Oh. There's my engines. Oh. Bots typically don't have the best turn decisions, but I was able to get the guns back on. Man, I love Marksman 2 and having the gun sight on this. Without it, and only having a 90% crew when I initially transferred over, it was a real pain. Going against a Yak 15, that's a difficult prospect, but luckily it looks like I have a Yak 19 bot that was able to help me out here. Gotta watch for the bomb splash on these things. Cool. This aircraft is still going to be relatively effective at being able to do those engagements, taking out those ground attackers here and there. 20 rockets is pretty awesome armament. Unfortunately, I'm going to be spending most of the battle here defending this one site, but you saw it wasn't enough to take out the main structure of the rocket base, but I did put a serious hurt on it. I'm lucky that there were bots flying those other ground attackers, because if it was a player flying that ground attacker, I would not have had the same type of luck. Can I go head-to-head against this guy? He's low health. Got him. Whew. Lucky for me. Lambert medal. Let's dive down on this IL-20. Again, we got Doc down here in the 329, and he's probably doing a pretty decent amount of hurt on this guy. I just want to pepper him a little bit. There we go. I will give it to Doc. I just wanted to get an assist off of that.
Receiving reports about rapidly deteriorating weather conditions. Support will be unable
Surprisingly able to get up to altitude, but again, not where it should be, so I have to be careful of that. Have to remember that this AA isn't after me. Well, it will be now.
The airfields are ours. We've got the enemy contained.
You're not supposed to be up here either. Ah, there we go. I've been trying to time my shots so I'm not firing too early on a lot of these targets.
We cannot support you
Please don't
anymore.
rocket me.
The storm is too heavy. Do you copy? Over.
I'm pretty sure I can't outmaneuver that guy, but he's doing the weird bot death roll. Maybe enough boost.
Way to go. Victory is close.
Oh, there we go, Conqueror. Do I seriously have a bot attacking me? Not defending center like I should be. I want to use these rockets. Maybe I'm just getting a hang of it. I was having a heck of a time with this earlier today. And let's do a... Wow, wing legend. I know we already got it, but I can still get damage on those targets. Oh. Luckily for me, the 250 isn't paying attention. Maybe I can take him out. There we go. Not a bad match at all, guys. I really wasn't anticipating that. I've been struggling to get over 5,000 personal points, so I'll take this as a win. And let's get back to the hangar and take a look at what we've done with the airframe and how we've kind of modified it to get the best potential out of those 20mm Hispanos. Like I said, this is going to be the same guns that you'd find on the Tempest. It's just the difference is these are mounted in the nose, so you're getting a little bit better gun performance out of it. Oh, looks like I unlocked a supply crate. I got the McCampbell medal, which is good. Oh, actually, I think this was part of one of my missions for the vampires, so that's good. Conquer, Wing Legend, we definitely were focusing down those attack aircraft, so that's awesome. And we got the Lambert medal for doing 400 capture points. When it comes to damage to aerial targets, we did 9,000 and about 11,000 for ground targets. I'm sure if I would have used those missiles a little bit more properly on that initial target, I might have been able to get the full potential out of the 1,000 or the 18,000 damage for the 20 rocket volley. Yep, that indeed was the mission for the landing gear, so we did complete that. That is awesome. So we're working our way through. Looks like we're on the stage 5, so that's good news. I would like to get the Vampire. It would be a nice little trainer, especially for this aircraft. And shout out to you, Doc. That was a great match, and it looks like you were actually taking advantage of your buddy over here, who's also from your clan, Drunk Generals, so hats off to you, sir. But let's go ahead and take a look at the airframe in the hangar. And yeah, it's a beautiful looking airframe. I love this paint job. I love the holiday theme, and I really do have an affinity for candy canes. They're kind of my addiction during this season. It's a neat airframe. It almost looks like from the back, the way the wings are kind of angled up, it almost looks like the wings are canted slightly forward, but in reality they are tapered back just a hair. It's a neat plane. It reminds me of kind of like a Dragonfly from Vietnam or something like that. The ground attacker aircraft that was equipped with a ton of rockets as well. And when we look at the options, there is an option to throw on the 2 500-pound bombs, but I'm really glad they added this. And maybe it's always been here, but I've never noticed it. But if you look in the drop down over here for the rockets and bombs, it tells you what the resupply time is, as well as the cumulative damage. So for these 20 rockets, you're looking at a total of 18,000 damage and a resupply time of 90 seconds. Meanwhile, you have these 500-pound bombs, and let's mount those on here just to get a comparison. It's only going to be 10,400 damage, but you're going to have a bigger blast radius, and they're only going to be a 60-second reload. So you're nearly having the amount of damage you're doing, but you're getting kind of a more consistent use. It's going to take some time for me, I think, to get used to using rockets again as a primary armament. Usually I tend to use bombs because they're drop and forget. Rockets, you kind of got to line up the shots because they have a smaller blast radius and really hit the points you want to hit. But with bombs, you just get that circle close, drop the 2, big enough blast radius, it takes care of itself. So I'll be interested to see how this thing is once I get a little bit of a better handle on it. And I do intend on eventually putting on Demolition Expert onto this pilot, so that'll be a nice add-on. Like I said, it's going to be the Hispano Mark IVs, and taking a look at the Tempest, that's the same guns you're seeing here. The Hispano Mark IV just wing-mounted compared to the center-mounted on this airframe. Oh, I did not notice this, though. There is an asterisk, and there's actually a 15-point damage bump. So you're actually getting a cumulative damage of 520, which is pretty decent and a little bit of a bump in range. Okay. I will take that. That is a nice little add-on. I do like that. I have not flown the Tempest, guys. I haven't flown it at all. I have no idea. So I couldn't tell you one way or the other. The engine performance is pretty good. It has decent enough speed. The thing can actually climb. We got that thing up to 9,000 feet, although it wasn't happy to be there. But its stall characteristics, it stalls very consistently. And for those of you who've ever tried to go up to altitude in some aircraft and you started to stall out, this seems to handle it well. And I know that might not make sense unless you've been in that situation, but when it started to stall, I still felt like I had relative control of it, and I could kind of control where it was going to go, where I could plane it off and get that speed back with a little hammer of the boost. And some of that may have come from the improved high-speed gas, or the high-speed gas turbine here, which gives me a little bit more acceleration out of that little 1-second jert of boost that I get back. I really like to use and abuse my boost a lot, and I think you guys probably saw that in that video. Like I said, it's a 14-second boost, and I'm sure I'm actually losing maybe a second or two off of here as a result of this module. But yeah, it's supposed to be a 15-second boost, and I only have 14 as a result of this gas turbine, so because that's one of its downfalls, right? Really need to have the gyroscopic sight, those 20s. They just feel like they're not hitting until I put on Marksman 2, because I did have Demolition Expert on here, but it just needed it, and it really does feel like I'm getting more consistent performance out of it. I love running universal ammo because it's free. It's not free, it costs silver, but it's not going to cost gold. Gold gold ammo. I hate gold ammo. The concept of gold ammo even existing in the game irritates me. And we do have the restarter right here and the emergency control system. I like putting on the first aid kit. Yeah, I may get lit on fire, whatever, that's fine. But the times that my pilot's knocked out, I can't really cause any more damage. A strong offense is the best defense. If I can kill you, then I don't need to worry about you lighting me on fire anymore. So I'd rather be able to get that pilot back up and running in order to try and at least take you out in the act of you taking me out. The nice thing about this airframe is when you specialize it, you'll actually be able to put on an outboard weapon piece of equipment, and you actually unlock on this holiday maneuver path here, you unlock this aerodynamic pylon. Now we actually have two of these, but you'll note here that this decreases the drag effect of rocket and bombs, but it also decreases the reload time. So once you have specialized in this airframe, you'll have the ability to reduce the effect of those munitions being added to the airframe so you get more speed, but you're also going to increase or decrease the reload time, so you'll be able to really get those missiles or bombs back off the airframe that much quicker. And you actually get two sets of these. Each one of these is going to be different in how they actually behave, because this one's purple versus orange, so you're going to have a little bit of a decrease in capability with this earlier one, but you can always upgrade it, and it'll allow you to be able to get an already rolled stat, which is nice, so that way you're not fighting for it. And unless I'm mistaken, I don't think aerodynamic pylon is one that I saw available on a majority of my aircraft, so unless this is a high tier add-on, I'm not sure, but it's nice to have a pre-rolled. Back to the aircraft here, you also get the eventual option of putting on another airframe modification. I'm probably going to go with polished skin just because I want to get a little bit more of a boost out of the speed. I know that'll decrease my maneuverability, but I'd rather have the speed. It's only going to decrease my maneuverability marginally, because I'm going to have a greater benefit from the lightweight wing frame, which will kind of cancel one another out but still give me a decent enough benefit. So there's my thoughts there. I'm really only going to be hurting for aircraft HP at that point. But with that said, guys, here is the Seahawk. I wanted you to be able to see it in action. You can kind of make your own decision as to whether or not you are willing to spend the time, go into the grind and try and get this aircraft. But I like it mostly for the aesthetics. But I actually had a really good game. That was the first one. All the other ones have been terrible, but I like it just for what it is. And the prospect of getting the Hawker Hunter at tier 10, there was a version of the aircraft, I'm not sure they're going to put in the game like this, that had 30mm Aiden cannons on it. If they have that version for the Hawker Hunter, I will be ecstatic, because I am loving my Javelin and I love my P228, and those also use 30mm Aidens, and those guns are fantastic. The ability to snipe out and really crush aircraft, that's what I'm looking forward to. And that aircraft is actually listed as an interceptor, so I'd be interested to see if it has that much better of an altitude performance, and maybe we will be able to get up there and get those RB-17s, and it'll be a multi-role in name only, so that'll be interesting. But without any further ado, guys, thanks for watching, and I hope this helped you kind of make a decision as to how much effort you really want to put into the candy cane drive. See you guys on the next one.